We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. It's the second of our two games here on this Saturday as Super Wild Card Weekend continues here on EA Sports. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30, right about the 29.
Here we go, shot. Check go.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
Good running right there, and this is a man who was a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
Check, Panther. Check, hurt, hurt. Ready.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Rose, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Shut up.
Ritter now. Oh, his first throw of the playoffs is intercepted. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. Nobody ever wants the interception on the opening drive to happen, but when it happens in the playoffs, it feels like it's a bigger deal. What a rough start.
And how about these visitors? The defense just went right on the field and seized momentum. You know, almost like they're saying, okay, no one expects us to win this one. Let's go ahead and give them a shock early. Took the ball from the home team and put them in the hole.
Because this crowd, one of the best in the league, especially this time of year, it's going to be tough to take them out of it, but that's a heck of a start. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 13 yards, first down, Packers.
Well, when you're a road team in the playoffs, when you're a wild card, what's the one thing you need to be able to do to stay in football games? Run the football. And that's an excellent job right there of identifying where to go and picking up good yardage.
And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first. So back-to-back big runs picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. Love looking to throw it. That's hauled in by Musgrave for the Packer touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch, and the Packers will strike first here in this wild card matchup. Things could just not have started any better for them. They get the turnover, the football right away, able to capitalize on offense for 6.
And we're talking about setting a tone in any game, right? The first points of a ball game. How about during the playoffs? Vitally important, and they've done that in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And able to get this out to the 25.
Okay, ready?
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
Go! Let's go! Check go!
He'll get that out wide to Waddle. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up second down. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, it turned into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
On the jump!
This 2nd and 4.
Set! Ready?
From the gun, he'll hand this off. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Brandon, that's what you call being manhandled at the point of attack, and I know the offensive line gets a lot of blame for that one. But occasionally, the defense just knows what you're going to do. Maybe they scouted it perfectly. Maybe someone tipped it off. But on that play, it had no chance.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a 1st down.
Well, it's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
Ready?
On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. That was shades of Tennessee volunteer football back in the 80s with Charles Davis coming up from the secondary to make the tackle for a loss.
You mean my teammates doing that, right? Because they would tell you, my coach would say, where's that tape? I want to see that. But how about the complete package there? Not just playing the pass, but being a willing tackler and making a really nice play.
He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
Flush to his right, and he'll just get rid of it.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
He finds his man, complete. That's Rose. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
79 Bronco. Check go.
Ritter will set up to throw it. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
One of the best in the NFL, in no small part because of his running ability. But on that play, didn't matter to the defense at all. Nice stop for them, a feather in their cap for getting the sack and brought down one of the toughest guys to catch in the NFL.
Ritter back to throw. Well, this is intercepted. They get Ritter for the third time. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go to the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team, because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports.
Ready?
3rd and 5.
Let's go.
Throwing. Love. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Set.
Love to throw for it on 4th. That's to the tight end, Musgrave. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion, and defensively pure frustration. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Go, Chap. Go, Chap. Come on, come on.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Ready? Hey, smash Bronco. Ready?
There they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
Have to give credit for a nice play there, but also have to look at it as a blown assignment. He became a free runner that turned into a free hitter.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Towards the middle and caught by Musgrave. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 25-yard line. Needed 13, they got 14 on 3rd down.
Buffalo 18. Set it.
Love now. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that will bring up second down.
Panther 11. Panther 11. Here we go. Here we go.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. To throw now. Here's Love. He'll complete this one to Watson. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down.
Go!
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. 44 yards rushing for him now to this point.
That's a great run right there on first down. Didn't quite get into the end zone, but now you've set yourself up for at least 2, maybe 3 more shots from close range.
Let's go now. Check smash. Check smash. Check go.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. Jordan Love keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Packers are able to stretch out their lead. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Powering his way forward. And he's going to be out of bounds here as the run back will leave him shy of the 20-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Smash, smash. Rig it. Hey, hey. Hunt.
They'll try the left side. Rose. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
Tempo,
So first and 10 now from the 30. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Shot alert, shot alert. Ready.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Rose. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get the penalty yardage back plus a yard, 6-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 9. So a nice run there, and I have to think a strong running game in the playoffs, maybe even more critical than the regular season. And if you go by the numbers, the man they have running it here, he was the best in the NFL.
And since he led the league in rushing yards,
60
I think it means he's going to see the ball a lot in this game, too, because that's what they're built like. That's what they're built around. So I think the offensive line, the tight end, the wide receivers, everyone is coming together, wanting him to get the ball and get it often, and they want to carve some holes out there for him.
And he is going to be taken down. They got him, as that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up second. Ritter going to change it up.
Reload, reload. Go.
Now a handoff up the middle. Rose. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. That's on the tackle, Penei Sewell. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Unlock lion. No, no. Big lion.
They'll try the left side. It's Rose, a solid stiff arm, and he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him in this first half, as he has certainly carried over his regular season success into the playoffs. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon, as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a fourth down.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return, and the Packer drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Hey, check that. Street. Ready?
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And a nice gain there as he'll be taken down just shy of the 20. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Love. And this is going to be incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. No return, but it goes down as just a punt of 31 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. He finds his man, complete. That's Peters. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Bronco 80. Ready?
Back to throw, Ritter. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
2nd down and a yard.
Set up. 60 Eagle. Hut.
They'll keep it on the ground. Rose. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Ritter to throw it. This is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Mark Andrews in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys are on the board here in the final seconds of the first half. Brandon Aubrey now for the extra point. And it's 17-7. Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. And no return forthcoming. It'll be a touchback. And the third quarter will start from the 30. Love going to break the huddle, lead the Packers up here 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Here's Love. That's caught. Waddle on the left side. And he's going to be touched down, but he's got the 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now a 2nd and 2. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. 78 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is
the throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a 1st down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. And his kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. Well, they picked up right where they left off from the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Up the middle they go. It's Rose. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hawk 70. 19 Lion. Ready.
Ritter. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
Let's go.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's a 2nd and 8.
Seven Pirate. Ready.
Looking to throw it here. Ritter. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
Here we go. Go.
Here's Ritter. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And into the end zone, it's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown. Well, CD, we have seen it many times throughout the course of the season. This defense coming up large and snagging a big takeaway. But here they get not just the takeaway, 6 points as well.
And you just knew that for this team to advance, it had to get a big performance from this unit. And to this point, they've delivered.
So the Packer offense coming on. They'll be asked to go for 2. Following the interception, Love. And unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. So the false start will back them up 5. Oh, jumping early from his tight end spot. Maybe trying to get a jump start on that route.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. And oftentimes when you see that, that means the play call was supposed to come in his direction, and he was eager to go catch a pass.
Ready.
Ritter from the gun. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down to set him back on 2nd.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes.
At this point in the game and the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A heck of a play there on third down, but amazingly, they're still short for fourth.
Let's go. Mustang 19. 70 Ranger, 70 Ranger. Ready?
Trying for it on fourth down. Here's Ritter. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Sack. Go, Rig. Go. Ready.
And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. 1 quarter remains in this NFC wild card matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15.
Come on. Set. Panther Street. Go.
One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on third down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Ready.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
Here we go.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He kept it in his hands and tried to push it across the goal line himself, but the defensive front wouldn't allow him to do so, bringing up 2nd down and a bit farther.
That's caught at the 3. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Dancing to his left. And he will not get away. He's sacked back around the 3-yard line. Baron Browning able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. And his kick is indeed good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone right so far, and they are, to be frank, in desperation mode now as they begin with a 1st and 10.
70 Timberwolf.
Ritter has it knocked down. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down.
79 Bronco. Sack. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat. Ready.
Ritter now. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Rose. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
60 Bison.
Ritter from the gun on third down. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there, 4th and 3. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Go.
4th down, big play. Here's Ritter. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Let's go. Hut, hut.
Ritter will set up to throw it. He'll find Miller. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 2nd down and a little more than a yard here. And Ritter back to throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he will have a Cowboys 1st down, and comfortably so, as he gets 5 there on 3rd and a yard. Working from the gun, Ritter. Over the middle, complete. It's Peters. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Cowboys have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. And he's got it here for the 2 points, but there is a marker down, so we'll have to see what that's about. Boy, so what else could go wrong for him here? It's an illegal touching penalty on the outside.
Yeah, Brandon, that really wasn't a very disciplined play, was it? Because you got to know where you are on the field. You can't get that close to the sideline because if you step out of bounds, you can't be the first to re-enter and touch it. That's an easy call for the officials.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game.
Here we go, set. Ready.
Another run on 2nd down, trying to cover up. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Set up. Ready.
Throwing. Love. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
Ready up.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Love from the gun. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Cowboys defense is going to get them the football back. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And last time, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Ritter. Fighting through pressure. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Quay Walker. And the Packers are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go.
Sack! Check smash! Check smash! Check go!
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. Doesn't matter whether you've watched high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
And it's incomplete. Still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over.